everybody, how's it going? Ben Gothard here, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises, author of CEO at 20, a little book for big dreams. So today I want to talk about brainstorming, and I think that brainstorming is an incredibly powerful tool, right? Because a lot of the times we will be so close to our problems and we'll be so in it that it's hard for us to see the bigger picture, and it's hard for us to sometimes see the next way to go. So when we brainstorm and we allow other people to contribute ideas and to think about different things with us and help us think things through, then a lot of the times we can get some really good ideas about how to proceed with what we're doing. So brainstorming is very powerful. And I want to talk today specifically about 9 keys to brainstorming. Now, I've been brainstorming for a while. I definitely think that as an entrepreneur we have got to brainstorm sometimes in order to break through that creativity barrier that we come across sometimes. So this is based on my experience as well as some research that I have done on brainstorming as far as best practices and what helps to bring forth the best ideas. So let's jump in. First one, this is probably the most important element to brainstorming, is no negativity, right? If we're trying to toss around ideas and think things through and somebody's just shooting down ideas or being negative or complaining, then it drains the group's energy and it doesn't allow for those creative juices to flow. So, if somebody's being negative in your brainstorming session, you might want to ask them to leave, because they are sucking the group's energy, and it is definitely not constructive to the group. So, the first one is no negativity. Be very positive and optimistic moving forward. The second one, all ideas are valid at this stage. It doesn't matter if ideas are crazy. It doesn't matter if ideas are dumb. It doesn't matter if ideas are good. It doesn't matter if ideas are bad. It just matters that all ideas are accepted at this stage, at the brainstorming stage, right? Because we can always come back later and think about whether or not we actually want to pursue those ideas. But if we're shooting down ideas in the brainstorming stage, again, we're capping that creativity and we're not letting those juices flow, those creative juices flow. So no negativity, all ideas are valid at this stage, the brainstorming stage. And then 3, and this one's very important, is that everybody has to contribute, right? Because, if people are just rapid fire putting out ideas and like 7 out of the 10 people in the group are talking about their ideas and they're really contributing, but 3 out of the 10 people aren't actually doing anything and they're just listening, how is that constructive? How is that helpful to the brainstorming session? So those 3 people, maybe they're not the right people for the brainstorming session, and just focus with the people who are actually contributing and engaging with everybody else. Because when you're brainstorming with somebody and you're bouncing ideas off of another person, you're feeding off of their energy, right? And so, if I'm brainstorming with you and it's just me shooting out ideas time after time and you're not really saying anything, then it's like, okay, well, why are we even doing this exercise? It's a back and forth, it's a give and take. So, the point that everybody contributes is very important, because if everybody is giving ideas, then the whole group is better, right? The whole brainstorming session is better off, and everybody will feed off of that momentum and that energy, and it'll make the brainstorming session more constructive and powerful as a whole. Okay, so no negativity, all ideas are valid, everybody contributes. 4, no distractions, right? And this one's important, especially in the digital age that we live in. And I'm talking about no computers, no tablets, no cell phones, no beepers, no, trying to talk to your girlfriend while you're doing this. No, everybody needs to be present, everybody needs to be focused, and like having a buzzing phone or alarms going off or all these extra distractions are just going to take away from the brainstorming session. So it is really to your benefit and to the group's benefit, the brainstorming group's benefit, to truly be present, be in it, avoid distractions, specifically computers, tablets, cell phones. Okay, so that is number 4. Number 5, also a very important point, is to build off of other people's ideas, right? Instead of just talking about your own ideas and just spitting at ideas and listening to other people's ideas. Try to combine ideas. Try to take what person A and person B is saying and synthesize it. Try to take what you're saying and person B is saying and synthesize it. And then with the synthesis from A and B, synthesize that with what you said. So you can mix and match all these different ideas. That's the power of brainstorming. That's the beauty of it, is that you can just mix and match and just toss a bunch of creative ideas out. And again, it doesn't matter, right? Because we're not being negative and all ideas are valid. So it doesn't matter how we connect and combine things, because we might come to something greater than what we had previously by brainstorming, right? And so when we build off others' ideas, we're one, showing that we respect their idea and that it is a quality idea, which will encourage them to continue contributing ideas, but then we're also building off of that. So we're not going from just a foundational level. We're actually giving ourselves a foundation to build ideas off of. So, at times, however, there's a caveat to this, right? Because if we spend too much time trying to figure out how all these different intricate pieces work, it might slow down the brainstorming session, and so it might actually be to your benefit to just kind of rapid fire ideas out. But I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I brought up the idea of peer-to-peer lending. There was an idea between like cryptocurrency and peer-to-peer lending, and so I was saying, like, okay, there's definitely something here. That could be a really interesting business model of like a cryptocurrency backed by peer-to-peer, whatever it may be. I kind of got caught up on this myself, of thinking, wow, there really is something here. I can't figure it out yet, but I know there's something here. So what I should have done was written down the idea and kind of benchmarked it for later, and come back to it and continue the brainstorming session. But I actually, to my fault, spent a little bit too much time on that idea and tried to make the pieces work immediately, when I should have just continued brainstorming, right? So build on other people's ideas, but don't let it get you hung up on something when you could just be spitting out more ideas. So that's first 5. Number 6 is to come up with as many ideas as you can. And here we're going for quantity, not quality. And I know that's kind of a difficult thing for some people to swallow. Like, a lot of people are very quality based and they don't want to do anything unless it's very high quality. But when you're brainstorming, it's just about shooting out ideas and just creating as much of a flurry of innovation and creativity and idea generation as possible. So if we focus too much on quality during a brainstorming session, then we're going to miss out on the quantity. Plus, if we're just shooting out a tremendous quantity of ideas, eventually we might actually run across something that is very high quality, right? And so, just by pumping out enough ideas, eventually we'll reach some really good ideas. Plus, when we're all brainstorming, and we're all kind of tossing these ideas together, again, that goes back to building off each other's ideas. We'll be able to build a little bit better. So that is number 6. Number 7, and this is similar to number 3, which is everybody contributes, but this one is everybody should take turns talking, right? It shouldn't just be one person hogging the whole brainstorming session, because it's a brainstorm, right? It's not a brain lightning bolt. Okay, that was kind of a lame analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's not just one person who's going to be talking. That's like a keynote speech. This isn't a speech. It's a brainstorming session. Everybody's coming together. Everybody's opinions are valid, and so everybody needs to be respectful and let other people talk, right? So if we're all brainstorming and we all get a fair shake at idea generation and putting forth our opinions to the group, then we will get to a much, much better place as a brainstorming whole, right? And so it's really important to take turns talking and let everybody speak. Number 8 is to forget the past and think about the future instead, right? So, thinking about, is this gonna, match up with what I've done in the past? Is it too difficult? Is it gonna be in line with my core values right now? Is it this? Is it that? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's brainstorming session. There's no right or wrong here. It's just about putting out information and coming up with something really cool. So don't worry about whether or not you've tried it before, whether or not somebody else has tried it before, what their drawbacks were. It's just about putting forth new information and new ideas, and synthesizing old ones, repackaging old ones, and doing whatever you need to do to come up with something greater than what you started with. So that's number 8. And number 9 is to resist tangents, like storytelling or joking. And this is kind of difficult for people because, especially like me, I like to have very long-winded responses, and I like to take my time articulating a full idea. I also like to tell jokes too. I'm not going to tell a joke right now, but storytelling and joke telling, it's an integral part of who I am, and so this was one that I need to work on too. But when you're brainstorming, it's not all about you. It's about bettering the group and putting forth ideas for everybody in the group. And so if you're constantly going off on tangents like storytelling or joking or whatever it may be, then we're not following key number 7, which is taking turns talking. Because if we're so focused on telling a great story or telling a really funny joke, then the emphasis is more on us when the emphasis should be on the group and the brainstorm. So, I hope these 9 keys have been successful. For a quick recap: 1, no negativity. 2, all ideas are valid at this stage. 3, everybody contributes. 4, no distractions like computers, tablets, or cell phones in particular. 5, we want to build on people's ideas. 6, we want to come up with as many ideas as possible. 7, we want to take turns talking. 8, we want to forget about the past and think about the future. And 9, we want to resist tangents like storytelling and joking. And I'm actually going to give you a bonus key to brainstorming because I love you and I think you deserve it, and that is to have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, if we treat it like work, then it's going to be like work. But if it's fun and it's more of an adventure and a creative exercise and we really enjoy it, that's when, in my opinion, we're going to get the best ideas. And it's not like, I have to be very regimented and strict. No, it's loose, it's unstructured, it's very creative. So the more we have fun with it, the better the ideas are going to flow, and the quality of the brainstorm as a whole is going to improve. So I highly encourage you to utilize brainstorming in your business or in your life, because it has truly done wonders for me. I like to reach out to people and just hear their opinions on things, and toss out ideas and hear their opinions, and maybe reciprocate, and that has been very powerful for me in my life and in my business, and it actually it helps build connection with other people, because when you're brainstorming with somebody, you're basically working as a team, and the more teamwork there is, and the more chemistry and relationship building you do through that teamwork, the better off you will be with that person, right? So when you brainstorm with somebody, you can get a little closer to them, you can kind of see how their brain works, and work with them in a way that is a little bit more fun and creative and not as pressure filled. So I hope this has been very helpful. I highly encourage you to try brainstorming. It's as simple as literally getting in a group and picking a topic and talking. It really is that easy, Socratic method style. So I hope this has been very helpful to you, and I will speak to you soon. Let's build a better world together.